Ladies and gentlemen, just to make sure that you're all still with us here tonight, welcome. My name is Jim Paulson. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you to Toronto, and of course our 7th edition of the Players Limited GM Motorsports Series annual awards dinner to conclude another great year. It's been a great year, right? We've had some great activity out there. East or west, doesn't matter. Actually, we are pleased that so many of you could arrange to be here with us this evening. We thank you all so much for making that arrangement, despite your schedules and so on. For the second year, the Players Limited GM Motorsports Series annual awards dinner brings both Eastern and Western Series teams and drivers together to celebrate at the same time and in the same place, and we are ready tonight. We may have kept you too long at the bar. You may be more than ready, but we're about to find out. Tonight, we'll be honoring the efforts, the courage, the determination shown by all of our drivers during the course of what really has been another exciting season. But before I do that, I do want to introduce the representatives of the companies who contribute to making all of this possible, and they did so with great effort in 1992 as well. Let us salute them tonight. I would ask these folks, as they are introduced, to please stand, and I'm sure the spotlight will find you. And let us start with Players Limited. Players, where are you? Mr. Bob Bexon. Where is Bob hiding? Right down front. Got him. Mr. Mike Courtney. Michael is here. Got him. Mr. Andrew Chan. Andrew. Mr. Rick Mattias. Where's Rick hiding? A very dear friend of ours. And Mr. Tom Moser. Where's Tom? Right down front. Come on, big round of applause. Whoa, whoa. Oh, you think that was rowdy? Now, representing General Motors Limited. Will they be as rowdy, Tom? I don't know. We're about to find out. Mr. Al Grendo. Let's have the spotlight find Al. Where's Al hiding? Right down here. Mr. Bob Simpson. Where's Bob? Got Bob next door. Good stuff. Ms. Moya Bartram. Moya, where are you hiding? Aha. And Mr. Earl Dickinson. Where's Earl hiding? Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold it. Would Earl's cars even run without Goodyear of Canada being involved? Never. From Goodyear of Canada, folks, we have Mr. Ches Hornibrook. Ches, where are you hiding? Ches is here somewhere. Ah, gotcha. Mr. Rick Hoole. Is Rick at the same table? Good. That saves us spotlight wandering. And Mr. Gary Dolson. Is Gary out tonight? Oh, hide that harmonica. Look out. We got Gary. Thank you, Goodyear, for your involvement. Very special involvement as well from Sunoco. Let's have that Sunoco logo. And would you welcome this very special lady that has kept us all gassed and going, well, gassed in the motoring term, Ms. Olga Carmen. Let's find Olga. Thank you very much, Olga, for your involvement. And good luck with the Ultra. Let's knock it on. Now, from Mohawk Oil, it's been a long journey for the gang to join us here in Toronto. So a very special warm greeting for Mr. Jeff Campbell. Can we find Jeff? Got him? And Mr. Robert Dawson. Is Robert there as well? Bob, thank you. Mohawk Oil. And some very special people, and I met more of this crowd even last week out in Winnipeg. We're doing the new 93 launch for the retailers. And from GM Parts, boy, they're busy out west, our representative here, Mr. Larry Fink, and we welcome Larry to Toronto. Larry, welcome. Good to have you here, my friend. Now, for the second year in a row, the Pro National Shootout saw more than, how many were there, Earl? 30 some odd drivers today. Yeah, oh, it was crazy. Anyway, and somebody kept count. Anyway, this year's shootout was held up at Mosport Park. We finally got into Mosport. And at this time, we want to take a little opportunity to congratulate today's winners. So I'll run through it quickly, in case you weren't with us at the track and didn't get the results. Finishing third overall out of Langley, British Columbia, Mr. Trevor Siebert. We got the Western crowd up there. Where's Trevor? Come on, Trev. What's that? In second place, out of Shannonville, Ontario, Mr. Richard Spinard. There's Richard. Well done, Richard. And the winner of the 1992 Players Limited GM Motorsports Series Pro National Shootouts from Burlington, Ontario, Kenny Wilden. What? Oh, settle down, Jim. Also with us this evening, a very special group of gentlemen who've contributed so much to our racing series, and we're proud of you. I want you to give a nice warm reception to our representative from Competition Tire tonight, Mr. Doug Fairchild. Where's Doug hiding? Well, with Doug, I could have been rowdy, you know. Also, we want to acknowledge the two companies who represent Goodyear in Western Canada. They are Circuit Tire and Fountain Tire. And where's that gang? Are they here tonight? Thank you. Representing Sun Equipment for both East and West, led by whoever's in charge tonight, the gang from Ross Cunningham Automotive. Where's Ross Cunningham's gang? Here somewhere? Our Sun representative, where are you? We got him. Quick note, table 4, was it? Someone has lost their keys. Okay, this was just handed up to me, so table 4, lost your keys. Otherwise, we take those home tonight. That's right, that car is mine. And it's a GM product, so we're okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the rowdy is fun. There's one, in fact, there's two very special young men that would love to have been a part of this rowdy tonight. And they certainly would have contributed to it. I would ask you all this evening to start our night to please stand and join me in what we're going to ask for is just a moment of silence this evening for these two very special young gentlemen in our lives. We have, through 7 years, been very fortunate until this season in losing a couple of top individuals involved in our series. They've contributed so much. They've added to the fun, the frivolity. They've added to the serious competition side of it. And I would honor for just a moment Mr. Joe Lapsevich Jr. and Mr. Mike Knowles. And let us just bow our heads and think of those great moments we had with them just for a moment. Okay, great. Thank you, folks. Joe, Michael, we love you. We're thinking about you tonight. I was going to ramble on for a few minutes here this evening as we head on toward the cash and the food and the fun and all the other frivolity, and we are going to miss the guys. There's no question this evening. I'm going to offer a little recap, a little overview on the season. I'm not going to dwell on that at all, really, tonight. It's been, as I said at the start, an extremely exciting race season, and it was touched by the tragedy, but had a marvelous shootout today. Congratulations to all of our competitors, East and West, who contributed to the program and really kept the whole spirit of the activity alive, and I know everyone appreciated that. And a very special gentleman has joined us here tonight. I'd prefer to get right to him, in fact, at this podium, because he knows the feeling of loss and the feeling of accomplishment and glory for a moment as well. He's the gentleman who is commander of our UN forces in Sarajevo, joining us here this evening. He is now commander of the Army here in the province of Ontario. Would you welcome, returned from Sarajevo, and he's fine, he's safe, General Lou McKenzie. Lou, welcome back.
Jamie, ladies and gentlemen, I really appreciate the opportunity to just say a few words, and there will be a few. When I came back from Sarajevo, unfortunately, the intervention controversy in the U.S. Senate and NATO was sort of around me, and I didn't get a chance to say what I wanted to say, which was to all Canadians how proud you should be of your Canadian soldiers, men and women, that were serving in Yugoslavia and Sarajevo. I had 25 nations under command in Sarajevo. The Canadians were the largest contingent, and they were absolutely magnificent. When I got back, I received a lot of credit, and as I said on a number of programs, if the soldiers had screwed up, I wouldn't have got on Larry King Live. They really did a magnificent job. Since I've been back, my hobby of some 15 years, starting with GT racing and then into Formula Ford, a lot of people have asked me a dumb question: what's the relationship between the military and motor racing? And up until tonight, I've in fact said very little. In fact, I did motor racing to get away from the military on the weekends. But I'm not so sure tonight. The fact of the matter is, when you lose somebody in a very tightly knit family, it really hurts. And I had 17 soldiers injured in Sarajevo. One lost his foot. And then shortly thereafter in Croatia, we had Sergeant Ralph was killed. You have no idea, but then again you do, how one feels when that happens. Because Joe and Mike are no longer with us. And I think it's a credit to our sport, not a criticism, that we all feel so badly about that. And it's wonderful to belong to a profession, and for me a hobby, where we feel so dearly about each other. Speaking of feeling for people, I always take this opportunity to talk for a few seconds about the Constitution. I sat across from President Izetbegovic one day in Bosnia, and he made the mistake of saying, "Well, General Mackenzie, you have constitutional problems in Canada." And I had a very strong triathlete aide-de-camp, a major who was my assistant, who caught me by the belt as I was halfway over the table to strangle the president. And after I regained my composure, I said, "I've got 650 francophones in my Canadian organization and 550 anglophones, and every one of them every day will die for each other. They will put their lives on the line. And how dare you compare the situation here in Bosnia with that in Canada?" And it crossed my mind that it would be really nice to dump the 26 million Canadians in Sarajevo for about 24 hours. And I think all this BS about senators and what the balance is in the House of Commons would probably come into perspective. The fact... Compromise beats the hell out of killing each other. So let's just remember that, and I thank you very much for the privilege of addressing a whole bunch of guys with roofs over their head, and someday you'll probably get into a car other than Richard, who has seen a lot of wheels in front of him in his day. Not bad, and by the way, Bob Thorndike, God bless him, had my name on his car as an honorary driver at the Molson Indy in the Firehawk series, and he's actually offered me a ride in a GM product on Thanksgiving Day, and it was a dumb thing to do because I accepted. Thank you very much.
Lou Mackenzie, come on, a nice round of applause. Thank you. So how did you qualify today?
I don't know. I had to leave the track.
Had to leave the track too early. It's somewhere in the field tomorrow, folks. Be back for the racing, right? Right now, ladies and gentlemen, we want to honor our first award winners of the evening. Let's get right to it. The Rookie of the Year Award is presented to the driver who has not participated in more than 2 races in the series before the current season, and who finishes with the highest points total in the overall driver standings. To present those awards, I would ask Mr. Bob Simpson from General Motors and Mr. Mike Courtney from Players Limited to join me up here at the podium. Come on up here, gang. And let's honor our first recipient tonight. We're ready. Okay, nice warm round of applause for this gentleman out of Calgary, Alberta. Part of the Lee Racing family, the Western Series Rookie of the Year is Daisy Lee. Welcome, Daisy. Hey, come on. Congratulations again to Daisy, and well done, my friend. We'll watch for you in the world of motorsport, okay? Now, from the eastern part of Canada and part of another racing family, our Eastern Series Rookie of the Year is Mr. Shane Grossman. Shane. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa. You never say speech to Shane. You know what'll happen? Now he'll take over the podium, and that's it. The night will be over. I mean, well done, Shane. Oh, sure. Now he's going to have a speech. I should have known.
Just a few words, just a few words. This season it was an honor. Yeah, no, it's shorter than that. It was an honor to compete with such talented drivers as Craig Priddle and Paul Mackey. They were both very competitive and challenging, yet I'm very happy to say they were very good friends. The three of us had the pleasure of racing with a field of Canada's finest road racers, and I would like to thank that field for giving me an exciting introduction to the world of professional motor racing. Any rookie knows their first season is a learning experience, and I'm grateful to have been in the Players GM Series where all the competitors were so helpful to me. Some tried to beat me fairly, and then there was Paul Duckworth. Paul invited me to play golf with him, and he nearly killed me. While he was driving, he tried that old golf ball trick. You know, I'm sitting on the right side, he's sitting on the left. He goes, "Look at the golf ball on the right." He turns the cart left, and I look right and fall out. So honestly, Paul's a very good friend, and I appreciate all the help and encouragement he's given me this season. He believes he is my mentor, but like many students, I ended up being faster than he was. Any driver knows he's only as good as the car his crew prepares for him, and I was fortunate to have Graham, Luke, Grant, and Jason, who always made sure the car was perfect, even if it meant working all night, working in the rain with no food, and away from the bars. Thank you, guys. Quite often, in my case, though, the car that looked so terrific and was so well prepared at the beginning of the race didn't quite take the checkered flag that way. Without the support of my sponsors, none of this would have been possible. And very special thanks to my good friends at STP who are here this evening. If you guys are here, stand up and take some credit. And the guys from Bob Johnson, Shebold's Geo. Talking about support, and if we get down to the basics, without my parents, I certainly never would have been here tonight getting this award. I want to thank my mother, chief of corporate acquisitions at the racetrack and caterer, my father, who was in charge of decals and trailers, and last but not least, my brother, Sean, who was the best teammate anyone could ask for and was usually just a hair in front of me at the finish. I've been involved in the Players GM Series since 1989, first as a fan, then a crew member, and now a driver. Past Rookie of the Year winners have gone on to greater successes, and that makes me especially proud of being among them this evening. I'm sure all competitors, crew, and sponsors here tonight join me in extending our gratitude to Players Limited and General Motors of Canada for giving us not only this season, but the 6 past successful seasons that have just gone by. Thank you very much, and have a great evening.
You can always spot a guy, you can always, hey, settle down at that table over there. You can always spot a guy who went to the Chris Davies School of Speechology, can't you? What, he must have been at the Banquet 2 or 3 years ago, eh? It's okay, Daisy. The other 6 pages you got, we'll record them later, that's right. Congratulations, Shane, well done, nice speech, well done. Now, let's start, is there time for dinner now after that, or? Let's enjoy our first chorus. We'll be back with you shortly. Thank you, folks. Whoa! You know when we're going to come back on stage here tonight, I'll tell you right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot of special guests in the audience tonight. We would like to recognize them all, thank them for their contribution to our Players Limited GM Motorsports Series this year and in the past, of course. And this one is really... I know you've been resting for a moment or so. It's time to get you back to life here tonight. Representing Sony of Canada. And they have generously provided prizes at various Players Limited and General Motors events held during the year. They again have provided the in-car cameras that have revealed some wonderful insights into the true driving abilities of some of our competitors. And they've just added so much genuine excitement to this entire series, sponsorship-wise, involvement-wise, product-wise, and show-wise, that we really have to welcome very especially tonight Mr. Van Gemmert. Where's Van? Hiding. And Mr. Bob McDonald. There's Bobby down there as well. Bob's right next door. Thank you, guys. Wow. We need them. Now, representing ASN of Canada, FIA Inc. Boy, we left the bar open too long, Tom. We're talking our motorsports sanctioning body, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, come on, Mr. Roger Pert. Roger, where are you hiding? Give him a hand tonight, Roger. And Mr. Paul Cook. Where's Paul? Hi, friend. Always good for any reason to drag Paul back into Toronto. 1992 has been quite a year. Series has raced on, we've been everywhere. We've done the streets, we've done the ovals, we've done the road circuits, we have run in rain, we have run in shine, and snow? Was that? It was on the script. I was going to say snow. Let's have a hand for snow. We had snow in 90. Whoa! And we've been at all the major race events here in Canada, but they wanted us, you know, so we had to be there. There was much more, but it would require, a whole evening to recap it. I won't go into all that. Let's just say thanks again to the drivers and teams who provided so many memorable moments, and of course the sponsors whose contributions have allowed all of this to happen. A general round of applause. Whoa! Thank you. I don't know. Lawrence Partington told me some of that was hail out there in Calgary, as I recall. Now, before we serve dinner, and I don't want this to get too cold for you, we got a knockout main dish for you here tonight. I would ask Earl Dickinson, who's been so quiet this evening. Earl, could you head up this way? And perhaps Chris... Chris Dominkowicz. Come on. I want the same equal response for Chris Dominkowicz. Right here. Chris. These two gentlemen have finally met, and no, we have a special presentation we must make tonight. You might have spotted that man just a moment ago, in fact, in the very dark of our banquet hall. A gentleman who, in his youth, found a moment to sponsor the Powell Motorsports team. They had exciting young talents in those days, like Peter Lockhart, so you know how long ago this was. Mike Hart. Is Michael here tonight? He'll get me for that. He's the young man who brought in Sony in that year that resulted in fact, in-car video. And it's kind of helped the drivers and the stewards. I guess it's helped the stewards a little bit as well in some of those incidences. We thank them for being supplied to our series. At least I'll do that. I'll thank them. Others, I suppose, may hesitate. He was always there to support his sponsors and series. This man has done everything. He's done the pit stop competitions, the Guildwood Day parades, the Mr. Lou Big Brothers Day activity. The motorhome has been used around town by various groups when you can get it out of corner one at Motorsports, you know. He's done the Georgian College Auto Show. We have a great shot somewhere. I don't think we can show it for you here tonight. A shot of this young man in a go-kart at full race speed, and some young child in the background by the name of Paul sort of learning what motorsport is really all about. And this gentleman showed this young lad exactly the proper line to take through corners and so on. A lot of people confused. They often refer to him as Bob Johnson, or whatever name they can find. Somehow, Bob McDonald's father. I know that he's been referred to as that as well. A man who's always supported Players Limited marketing activities. He has made Mr. Moser proud over the years, especially since 1986. I think that one year stands out of my mind when this gentleman would often be seen mooching packs of smokes from the VIP suites right across Canada, not just in Toronto. This man had no city was safe. Could be Montreal, Trois-Rivières. He did well in Trois-Rivières. I think he had the three-pocket full job there. Halifax was big. Vancouver, Toronto Indies. We've all seen this gentleman walk away with packs in every pocket. Chris, even the beef sandwiches weren't bad, were they? Not bad. Jim Duckworth. Let's have a hand for Jim Duckworth tonight. Jimmy, come on down. Now, don't you dare come alone, young man. No, no. Peace. Every man, and especially this guy, has a better half. And this better half is going to be, what, 29, I guess, this year. Tomorrow, yeah, I believe it's the day after our banquet on September the 20th. Would you welcome Fran to our podium as well? Franny, come on down. Only 2 lines, a very quick. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, 29-year-old Franny. Happy birthday to you. Hey. These flowers were grown in Earl's own personal garden, ladies and gentlemen. Jim who? Here's what Jim was trying to say earlier, folks.
Okay, everybody can take their ties and jackets off if they want.
Bless you, Jimmy. We love you. Fran, we don't know, but ooh. Final photo opportunities. Good stuff. Let's have a hand for a great couple. Beautiful people. Love them. Ladies and gentlemen, dinner should be served, okay? But we'll be back. Don't go away.